Welcome back to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Ryan Tejas, Tom Welling, and myself are here. We're ready to rock it out for you. Another episode. Last week, Lexmas. This week, we've got another episode. It wasn't as good as Lexmas, but there were some things we'll talk about. And thank you for listening. Thank you for making this podcast the one you listen to. And thanks for anybody who listens to my other podcast, Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. We've had some great guests, and I appreciate you subscribing and writing a review. Have a listen. If you haven't listened to Inside of You, I think you'll love it. Ryan and I work on that one. Tom has been a guest many times, and I'd appreciate it if you checked it out. And join Patreon, patreon.com/talkville, if you want to help the show. Picture it like a streaming service. Give a few bucks and help us out, and we'll keep going. And also talkvillepodcast.com. You can get crazy merch, and Inside of You online store. You got Lexmas script signed, you got ship keys signed, you get all that stuff. So go there. All the stuff's on my Instagram at @Michael_Rosenbaum, and you can go to my link tree. If you didn't get a chance to call into our hotline and leave a question for this episode, make sure you do for future ones, and all that info and more is down in the show's description. A little shout out for Puppy Fresh Breath, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. There it is. Boom. One cap full. It's my new product. One cap full in your dog's water, and your dog's breath smells great. There's a picture of me and my dogs. And last but not least, the fart book. Got to promote it. The Talented Farter. So there it is. It's a sound book by me. Beautiful illustrations, farts. I think you're gonna love it. Pre-order it on Amazon. And look at this. Love it or loathe it, Little Michael's special talent was a proud, pungent family tradition passed down from his farter and his grandfarter. Talent is in the genes. Check it out. Amazon. Pre-order it. Hopefully you will. It's a great tabletop. Tom's got his book. Look at that.
The Talented Farter by Michael Rosenbaum.
The Talented Farter.
That was
Tom's got it out.
A New York Times bestseller.
Look at Tom reading it.
Thank you for coming on the program, Michael.
Tom, that's the first time I've seen you read in a while. I could barely hear that. All right, without further ado, let's get into season 5, episode 10. This is Fanatic. Title Fanatic, January 12th, 2006 air date. Director Michael Roll, first episode. Writers Wendy Miracle. And first and only episode worked on Arrow after. Guest star Annie Bergstead as Samantha Drake, Adrian Holmes as Griff, Dean McKenzie as Lex's campaign manager, David Richmond Peck as March Sosnick. Synopsis: Lex Luthor versus Kent. Political battle comes to a nearly fatal boiling point, causing families to cross the line and break morals to support the ones they love.
The episode begins with a recap to set the stage for the contentious political battle between Lex and Jonathan Kent. After this, we see Jonathan Kent walking across the proverbial grassy knoll as a nearby gunman prepares their shot to take him out. As Jonathan delivers his corny speech, we see him corny because he's a farmer. We see him between the crosshairs, and Lois Lane is the Lee Harvey Oswald.
What?
Yeah,
what's that about?
What is going to happen here?
I don't know.
What the heck is going on?
2 days earlier, we see Lex meeting with his campaign team inside Luthor Mansion.
I love those Lex shirts. I have a couple of those.
Do you really?
Yeah. You want to wear one next episode?
Absolutely not.
That and suspenders of disbelief and that shirt. We got a whole list of t-shirts.
Yeah, Lex's face on there. Vote Lex. Those are rarities.
To help his case against the 40-year-old farmer, Lex tries to appeal to a younger demo by meeting with a group of Kansas college students. After a captivating, historically laden speech, Samantha Drake jumps at the opportunity to get a pic with Lex.
She was creepy.
Yep.
Right away, I'm like, creepy.
And I originally thought one of the dudes was going to be the main creeper, but it was her, and she was exceptionally creepy.
It was her, and she had to shave her head for this episode, so she auditioned, and the audition, they said, you have to shave your head for the role. Now, that's tough, because you're not getting paid a lot. You got a week's work, and you're shooting in Vancouver.
You're not going to work again for a while.
Canadian.
But you're going to be bald for a good 6 months before you have hair. Really a year before you have a full head of hair. That's a risk. I wonder if she got double pay. They might have given her for shaving her head. They might have paid her more. I don't know. As Lex leaves, he receives a call from Griff to meet up about the dirt he's dug up on Jonathan Kent. After Griff hangs up, Lionel intercepts him and pays him off to beat his son to the information. However, instead of using the dirt, he burns the highly flammable documents. Any chance Griff can print another? What do you think about the dirt against Jonathan was at this point in time? I don't know. I don't know what he's got against Jonathan Kent, but, it's weird because at the end of Lexmas, it's like, he says at any cost, you get this done. But like, you think that is Lex capable of killing Jonathan Kent? And then you're like, well, we'll find out.
I don't know. I thought that Griff gave up his information a little too quickly.
Yeah, he just grabbed the money,
like
looks in there, sees money. He should have been like, I don't want your money. It's like Lex will pay me anything I want.
Right.
He's already paying me really well. He immediately goes, okay, I'll take it. Thanks.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, what? It was too fast.
Yeah.
It was like not staged well or written well.
But I do like
know,
Glover's. I do like Glover's look as the paper's burning. He looks up at the guy like, how you like them apples? I thought that was
you're nobody, Griff. The next day, we see Jonathan Kent going full Hollywood as a crew adorns the farmhouse with many leather-bound books and the scent of mahogany. Martha and Clark, who looks like he tied his own tie, walk in to show support for their patriarch as they learn that his campaign manager is pushing messages counter to his morals. So he shuts it down and hires Lois instead. Yeah, that guy, I guess, was the old in and out. You're going to come in, have a scene with Jonathan Kent, and then you're fired. As the crew leaves, Jonathan receives a voice-modulated call warning him to drop out or you will die, and then goes full Rob Ford by popping a mysterious red pill to take the edge off.
Yeah, what was that about? We haven't seen that yet, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's taking him for his heart.
I guess, but they were just so bright red.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be a good thing.
I think he's just doing it to take off the edge. I don't know.
Just a couple
Do we
We'll
even find out later?
Maybe we'll find out in the next episode, but probably
had
not.
a whole emblem on it.
As Lois hits Central Kansas A&M for some guerrilla marketing efforts, she is confronted by Samantha with resistance. Samantha leaves and tells her minions that they need to take things to the next level to help Lex win.
Yeah, it's creepy. It gets creepier, too. That night in her dorm, Lana gets a visit from Clark back in his normal duds. They begin getting intimate until Lana notices Clark getting cautious about hurting her. Clark is resistant to tell her about regaining his powers after coming back to life and flips the issue on her for pursuing astronomy. She stands strong and tells him to put an egg in his shoe and beat it.
Yeah, put an egg in your shoe and beat it, but not in my dorm room. Get out of here.
Yeah, yes. I like how because I was like going, oh my God, she can't believe this bullshit. And then she's like, you're doing this again. You're deflecting. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to leave. And good for her. She looks smart in that position. And Clark looks, like an idiot.
Yeah.
He looks like Clark.
After Clark's failed woodworking that evening, we cut to Jonathan doing some carpentry of his own in the Kent barn.
Good one, Bryce.
He's interrupted by students from Lex Luthor campaign who knock him out as a means of further political intimidation.
That was brutal.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that was... wait, is that the scene? Yeah. So
they just take him out. Like, all we know is that they just snuck up on him and beat him with a baseball
why would
bat.
they do that when he could see their faces? Why wouldn't they wear ski masks or something?
I don't know, because
they're only in college.
But that was so stupid. It's like he sees you. If you're not going to kill him, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're going to get busted. So I didn't know why that was.
Well, they didn't think anything through. All they had was this person at the helm who was just
telling
fanatical
them what to
about
do.
Lex and was like,
Well, put on a ski mask at least and look smarter.
They're not bright.
They're not bright.
They're not college A&M's finest.
Martha is
not
none
going to be summa cum laude.
Martha is none the wiser. She's closing up shop in the Talon. Lionel pays a visit and tries to lend some emotional and financial support to the Jackie Kennedy in the story. Lionel whips out a check and Martha humbly turns down the offer to keep their hands clean. I like her reactions. Martha with Lionel. Great reactions to what he's doing. She's like, it's really like, I want to do this. I want to help my husband, but I know he'd really be upset about this. I can't do this. It was, every moment was good.
It's always fun to see them act together because I know that they both John and Annette adore each other, and when you have that friendship, you can play in a scene in some ways you couldn't play with a stranger who you don't know.
Yeah.
You can play on those things. And these guys are just great actors.
Yep.
Yeah, they just enjoy acting with each other, I think. They can play off
Yeah.
each other well.
It's like, throwing a ball. It's like
Yeah.
I'm throwing it to you, throw it back. It's like, it really works.
Yeah, they're just out there playing tennis.
Game of catch.
Game of catch with old Uncle John Glover. Over in Metropolis, Clark visits Chloe at the Daily Planet to share his super concerns for his intimacy issues with Lana.
I don't want to hear this, Clark. I don't want to hear about your sexual endeavors and your hang-ups and your
Awkward
factors and your limp biscuits and all that stuff.
Biscuits.
Keep your escapades to yourself.
Yeah. Keep your sexual escapades to yourself.
Chloe consoles him, but then offers some tough love, telling him that he's in denial and needs to fess up sooner or later. Clark and Martha arrive home together and find Shelby panicked inside the barn. They look up and find Jonathan hanging upside down with a warning to drop out.
Yeah, why wouldn't Shelby go into the house and bark and they follow him? Like they had to find him in the barn? Some kind of dog just sits there next to Jonathan while he's being hung upside down. Good Lord.
Definitely not overstaying their welcome. The family reconvenes inside Kent Medical. Jonathan stubbornly checks out against the doctor's advice and is determined to push forward. Martha is pissed off that he is jeopardizing their family, and Clark learns that Jonathan believes Lex is responsible. And speak of the devil, Lex enters the hospital to check on his opponent. Clark questions his intentions, and Lex says he is determined for more answers and power. Power.
What I really liked about this scene of Lex showing up is it helps the audience understand that Lex is not behind the crazy college kids. Like it really does sell that. And I think it's a lot of value in that scene. Yeah.
Back at Central Kansas, student campaign begins to get cold feet as two of the members decide to go to the cops and put an end to this before things get worse. However, before they can leave, Samantha pulls out a gun and kills two of her colleagues. All right. As a further statement for her of her undying loyalty, Samantha goes full Britney Spears and shaves her head off in solidarity with her bald leader. And Lex returns to the mansion and finds the bald Samantha in his office. She goes on to offer her full set of support by stripping down in front of Lex, but he politely declines the offer to philanderer, the other Alexander.
It would have been really awkward if when she goes to cut her hair and it's like that slow movement, and then all of a sudden in the background, Lionel Luthor comes up and he goes, "Let me give you a hand," and then Lionel's behind all this.
Oh God,
that would have been crazy.
This was actually like the squirmiest I've ever gotten watching.
I was really
Smallville.
uncomfortable.
It was super uncomfortable.
You know what it was? Because I think what it was is she wasn't old enough. Like she looked like a young girl, and it made me uncomfortable.
It was all like
it just was weird.
And maybe it's a testament to her acting too, but just the entire way she went about doing everything just made me very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, which I guess she's supposed to do.
But yeah, and I think also just like when she went to go actually shave her head, I went, oh shit, she's actually doing it.
She's actually shaving her head.
And then I thought about the things that you thought about, like, well, was she getting paid for her episode?
That's a lot, man.
I think the definition of crazy is when you shave your head and then show up to somebody else's office naked. I'm pretty sure that makes you crazy.
Drake continues to reveal information proving that she is Lex's #1 fan, and Lex tells her that she has gone too far. Before he can alert his security to escort her out, Samantha knocks him out and tells him she will finish the job despite his moment of weakness.
Another knockout.
Did anybody else laugh? When Lex said, "My security will escort you out"?
Yeah, where are they?
I laughed.
Yeah. It's like, really?
Because he made a crack about him.
Where is your security, Lex? Where is it ever?
You did call it out in that scene. He said, "I need better security."
Yeah, well, obviously.
Clearly. Clark pays a visit to Chloe to get her to help finding who is behind the hit on his father. She uses call logs to pinpoint the origin to the Lex Luthor student campaign. Clark goes to investigate and finds the 2 dead bodies with paper Lex masks over their faces and some locks of her hair to boot.
Awkward.
That night at his campaign rally, Jonathan talks with Lois before he sets to take the stage and talk to his constituents. Lois spots a trespasser backstage and gets knocked out when she tries to confront Samantha.
Now, let me ask you this. Why is she having her do it? Why doesn't she just do it? She's up there with her. Why doesn't she shoot Jonathan? What the hell's that about? I'm going to make you do it.
What's the difference?
Because then you don't get that cool cold open.
Yeah, but for story, it's just stupid. It just was stupid. She's up there. She's forcing Erica or Lois to do this, and she's standing right behind her. Once the gun is shot, they're gonna go up there, and I don't know, man. It was just like, good grief.
Well, you never know how people are going to react
when
anything happens.
I have nothing. I have nothing to say.
They tried to make up the story that
it was all about having that opening, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense.
When someone's assistant assumes what they think is the power of the person they're assisting, things can go wrong. And I think this girl thinks that she's Lex, and she's getting off on the power of making people do things.
Yeah, but
that's my reasoning.
Yeah, but listen, she's pointing the gun at Lois. And what if Lois misses? She's taking that chance of Lois missing, and then Jonathan Kent isn't dead. Okay, it's twofold. Then Jonathan Kent isn't dead, and then she's got to kill Lois, but then also Lex doesn't want her doing this. She knocks out Lex, so she's pissed at Lex. So why is she still going through with what she thinks Lex wants? Because Lex is not on her side. What is the deal?
It's obviously something that she wants, and maybe she's coming to terms with it's not.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh well, it wasn't about.
I'm doing this. I don't care what you want, Lex. This is for the better good.
I'm doing this for me.
Ridiculous.
Well, I think she's gonna try to say she's Lex Luthor. She's gonna say, "No, I'm Lex."
Oh,
I don't have any hair.
When Lois comes to, she sees Samantha standing over her with a pistol. Samantha tells Lois that she will be the one assassinating Jonathan or losing her own life instead. Lois puts up a fight, but once again gets knocked out by Samantha. Everyone is getting KO'd.
Mm-hmm.
This time, Samantha picks up the rifle and aims at Jonathan. She fires the shot, but before it can make impact, Clark rushes to the stage and plays Secret Service by jumping in front of the bullet, catching it midair, and then super speeding away before anyone can notice.
That was cool. I like the balloon. I like the slow motion. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Kind of remember the whole setup and seeing John in the suit and thinking that looks funny. But a lot of those scenes are very technical about where am I looking, where am I put my hand, what's the timing, because we're not running in slow motion. It's filmed in real speed, and then it's slowed down for what you see on camera. So I'm running full speed and I'm snatching things and this and that. And usually it takes a couple takes, but we got really good at it at this point.
The people
everybody
just
kind of
stop moving. How do they do that where no one's moving? They just have nobody move?
Yeah. Everybody stops moving, and all the confetti and the balloon, that's all done in post. But they say,
because everybody looks
stop.
really still. It's pretty amazing.
And then I'm the only one running. And there's a thing that they say to people is you can't blink. You can't look at him when he runs by. You don't see him. And it usually takes a take for people to go, oh, I see. Because it's really weird when I'm running so close to people and they can't move or look or anything else.
That's interesting.
It's performance.
Yeah,
it's active.
That's cool.
And then John can't do anything either. So it's you got to just let.
Yeah, imagine
Clark
you have to
do
like
his thing
this
right now, and then I run right in front of your face. Yeah,
I'd blink. The rally erupts into chaos after the gunshot. Clark rushes to apprehend Samantha, but before she can save the day, Lois overpowers John Wilkes Booth, contains the situation. The next day in his office, Lex gets a visit from Lionel as they recite the art of war, Sun Tzu, to one another. Lionel tells him, I also read that book. Lionel tells him this campaign is getting messy, but Lex claims to have no involvement. Lex tells his father that he appreciates the chase for the Senate seat, but does not appreciate his own father working against him behind the scenes.
Is it know yourself, know your enemy?
This just makes me wonder what Lionel burned in the earlier scene.
Read the rest, Ryan. It's all you, baby.
Yeah, I know that because I had to write a rap as Sun Tzu once, and so I had to look up the basic quotes. So there you go. Over on the Kent farm, Lois preps Jonathan for his campaign schedule as the family is optimistic about their recent polling. Lois is pessimistic about going up against the deep pockets of Lex Luthor, so Martha decides to take Lionel up on his generous offer. That night in the loft, Clark sees Lana playing with his telescope. He apologizes for the way he's been acting, and the two of them have a conversation about taking things slow. Again. Lana admits that she has a fascination for the meteor showers and wants to get to the bottom of the spaceship-related phenomena of both showers that have hit Smallville.
Well, I'm glad someone finally said something.
And maybe one of them is among us.
Maybe one of them is among us.
Maybe he's right.
That was a cool scene.
Well,
that was a cool scene.
It's a cool scene, and I like the way that it was played by both of us because you can't show your hand. But again, as a frustrated viewer, you're like, if Clark goes, well, Lana, what happened was... I came down to the meteor shower. I am that person. We still good?
Yeah.
I mean,
how we doing?
It's never going to happen.
You see what had happened.
I wish he would have told Lana, but he couldn't, because then the series would have gone somewhere different.
Yeah.
They're like, should we tell Lana? Should we?
He might be able to tell her if he didn't kill her parents, but that's like the whole thing, right? Is like, oh,
he didn't kill.
I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah, that's going down a rabbit hole. Closing thoughts on the consequences of Martha politically getting to bed with Lionel Luthor. Hey, it adds some suspense, and she's doing it for her husband, but we know that's not going to end well. It's
Lionel the biggest. I think it's the biggest takeaway of this actual episode is her doing that. And
Lionel blocking Lex's political aspirations. It just adds fuel to the fire. It just wants Lex to go all the way against his father anyway and prove him wrong and shut him up. Thoughts on the Lana investigation on the meteor showers coming to a boiling point with the relationship with Clark. We just talked about that. But,
wait a second. It just occurred to me. Maybe what Lionel burned was a piece of paper that would have easily given Lex the seat. And what Lionel's really doing is making it as hard as possible for Lex to win, so Lex has to work hard. He's like, he just keeps putting more weight on his bench press in a way. Like he's doing everything he can to make it so hard for Lex. Maybe not to make him lose, but to make him really win.
There's always maybe. There's always ulterior motives with that Lionel Luthor. We just don't know what's going on. Interesting things of David Richmond Peck, the guy who was the campaign manager, got fired in the beginning, was also the meter maid assaulted by Lex at the golf club in Dichotic. He's really moved up in this world, meter maid up to campaign manager.
He's working in Canada.
But then he's fired, so now he's a meter maid again. Clark's conversation with Chloe is a reference to a classic 1969 essay by science fiction author Larry Levin called Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex. Craig, thanks for being out here. People don't know this, or many people probably do, but you ran Kryptonsite for a long. How long has it been?
It's been 24 years now, I think. Because, the fandom is still thriving, especially with you guys doing the podcast. And we've got the convention coming up in October where hopefully you'll be selling your part book. And
are you going to be there, Craig?
Yeah, so that's the hope. I'm hoping to be there. It was so great seeing you guys at the live Talkville event a couple months ago. So I think it'd be a good time.
I want to know this. What got you into Smallville to begin with?
Quick backstory. I have been a Superman fan since I was a kid. And when I first went on the internet in high school, Lois and Clark was the thing that was happening. And then I started a webpage about this teenage Clark Kent project when it was first announced in September 2000. And that got the attention of certain people like Al. And I did the first interview with Al Goff that appeared anywhere. And that
really?
kind of put it on the map.
He's fun to talk to.
And then the show, yeah. Oh, I heard you guys just talked to him. So
did you get paid for doing Kryptonsite, or did you just do it because you loved it?
I got paid through ads on the site. So luckily people would go to the website, but I did get paid when I wrote the books also.
And where can they find these books?
They're all on Amazon.com. Just search for Smallville or Craig Byrne. You can see some of them here. Yeah.
Did you get what you wanted out of Smallville? Was it something that you wish you'd seen more, you wish you'd gotten more, but did you ultimately really love the show?
218 episodes is a lot. And also the show managed to reinvent itself a couple of times, which kept it fresh. Like, Alan Miles didn't just throw in all the good stuff in season 1 and then coast for 9 years.
One of the things that Al has said to us more than once is going into season 5, one of the reasons it's so good is because they thought it was going to be the last season. So they really, like Lexmas and a lot of these other, what happens to Jonathan, they threw it all in because they thought it was the end of the road. And as a result, we got picked up again.
Yeah, it was such a surprise because the other networks, it was up against Alias and the OC, but somehow people just started tuning into Smallville again when it moved to Thursdays. And 5 more years after that.
It was, we got lucky, and it was a lot of things that had to go right because you needed a strong season. And so far, I got to say season 5 is my favorite season. Al was right. I think there's a lot of good ones here. How did you feel about the Freak of the Weeks? Were you good with it?
I was actually really good with it because I kind of understood early on that it built that world. So then we can get comfortable with the characters. And then once we get to season 3, 4, 5, we can really delve into the characters and how they react to things. So I think it was kind of a necessary evil, but it ultimately led to what we needed.
It also gets us to a point in season 5 where Lana says, I want to look into those meteor showers a little bit more.
It sure took her long enough. I always thought it was comical that, like, Aquaman knows Clark for like 5 minutes, and then it's like, oh yeah, you've got superpowers, cool. But then Lana, the one that he supposedly loves, takes 6 years. Spoiler.
But I want to know what your top 5 episodes are of Smallville.
Oh, I'm probably going to miss a few of them. The pilot, obviously, because that's where it all started. Rosetta, for that fantastic scene between Tom and Christopher Reeve, is special. I liked Insurgents, the one with the hostage situation at Luthor Corps. Memoria, of course. And I guess I only have one left. It would
not Lexmas, you son of a bitch.
We just watched Lexmas.
I thought the Santa Claus was kind of silly in that one. I liked the Lex stuff, but Santa was a little silly.
Well, what about Shattered?
Oh, Shattered would be in my top 10 for sure. Like, I remember that was one very exciting time for the fandom because I think that was like the mid-season finale. So everybody's like,
now,
oh my
now
God.
That we said top 10 instead of top 5, I think you're up to 8 now. So what are your other 2?
Probably Justice and maybe Salvation, the season 9 finale where Beeman came back.
Beeman's going to come on for the 100th episode. He's going to do an interview with us.
Oh, fantastic. And a lot of the episodes that both of you, the ones that you directed were great. Booster, Absolute Justice, part 1.
Hey, Craig, I have some questions.
But either way.
So the guys always talk about how the show is different, right? Because there wasn't social media, so there wasn't that community around it. But you kind of had that community on Kryptonsite, right?
Yeah, we had tens of thousands of people on in time.
What season of Smallville?
Kryptonsite started before season 1.
So is that something where you guys had like discussions as episodes were airing, kind of like live tweets with forums and stuff like that?
Yes. If you go, well, right now the forums are down, but when the forums are up, it would be called the Countdown Live Discussion Thread, and even that would get like thousands of posts as people are watching. You can see the reactions, so it's kind of fun to look at as an archive now.
The way they built the characters and the way things evolved. I mean, did you like? I mean, what was your favorite character arc? If you had to pick one or two, or obviously there are things that I don't think were done to perfection. But what were your favorite storylines?
Well, like for example, no offense to Tom, but Lex's arc was probably the most solid through the 10 seasons.
Especially after season 7.
I will admit, though, the finale kind of disappointed me because the finale took away his memories. So, like, where was his journey? Because I thought the show was about Clark becoming a hero and Lex becoming the villain. I also really liked how Clark and Lois developed in the later seasons. I thought, Tom, you and Erica did a fantastic job with that, like building their bond and their chemistry. And, like, I recently rewatched the end of season 9, early season 10, and there's some really solid stuff around there.
No,
don't give up yet, Michael.
I'm actually intrigued, and Ryan's here, and Ryan's been watching it for the first time, and I think that Ryan has pleasantly been surprised at times. He's been maybe moved at times, and it's something that he didn't watch. But how many times do you think you've watched the series?
I've watched the early seasons more than the later ones, not necessarily because of any quality change or anything, though we did miss you, Michael. I just feel like those early ones I probably watched dozens of times, and then of course when I was doing the books for seasons 4 through 7, I had to rewatch a lot of that stuff. So like through season 1 through 7 I've seen more than the more recent ones, but I have revisited a few. Like, I mean, Homecoming's another great one.
Craig, did the shows like Arrow and what are the shows? Flash and all those. Did they have the same balance of superhero with subtext and character development? And were those series? I never really watched them. Were those Was Smallville something to you that is the best, or do you think they got better in the storytelling?
I think what happened though with all of those Berlanti shows, and many of them were well done, but it seems like they kind of went through their entire stories within 1 or 2 years, and then were coasting the rest of the way. I think I mentioned that earlier too. It's like Smallville kept fresh. It gave audiences a reason to keep watching, whereas like, I mean, The Flash went to 9 seasons, and honestly, I've probably not rewatched any after like season 2.
Man, I didn't even know The Flash went.
I think the problem also was Smallville was the only one of its kind when it was on. There weren't like 18 other DC shows. I mean, the only close show to it was Heroes, and that came and went before Smallville was even over.
You know, and this happens a lot where somebody creates a character like Tom with Clark Kent and is loved by millions of people around the world, and then they do a movie and, you know, he's out of the picture. Same with Lex Luthor, same with me. Do you find it as a fan disappointing? Do you want to see that character become Superman after seeing him for so long as Clark Kent?
I mean, I would still like to see Tom as Superman. I think I tweeted, I was like, if we all give to the patron, will you put on a suit for us?
I don't have one.
Are you sure you don't have one?
I don't know. I'm looking around.
I got one. I'll let you borrow it.
But okay, I'll put on the Lex tuxedo.
Yeah, but seriously though, like those characters will always be special to me. I'm one of those people that loved the Sceene in the Crisis crossover with Tom and Erica. I thought it was a really good conclusion for the character that was, because it's kind of a cheat to have him be Superman in the show that's not Smallville.
I think I was asked to be in a lot of the other shows after Smallville ended. I was asked to sort of appear in them as Clark, and their tones I never felt like their tone was the same as what Clark was or what Smallville was. And I still believe that in the crossover, what you see Clark doing and giving up his powers and being with Lois for a family, that might not be the Clark from Smallville because it's a multiverse.
It was great to see the two of you on set at the farm. Like, I mean, I remember, you know, May 2011, I just assumed this is it. This is the last we will ever see of these people. And now, you know, we've seen you playing the characters again. I'd love to see Lex again at some point. But, yeah, it just...
what was your biggest emotional moment?
This might be a little bit personal, and this is getting a little ahead of us, but the end of the episode Vengeance with Jonathan on the tractor, my father passed away when I was 19. So that was basically the age Clark was at the time. And just seeing that moment where they just see him happy and you know that he's still probably proud of Clark in the afterlife, I thought that was really emotional. So that probably is what hit me the hardest.
We love you. Yeah. We owe you so much for all the love and what you've done for Smallville and what you've done for us as actors and the community you've built. And you'll always be in our hearts, and we always love talking to you. So thank you. We didn't talk about Fanatic with you, but I didn't want to because you're such a big part of this show that I wanted to talk, you know, frankly about kind of everything. So if you will, yeah.
That's completely understandable because I even told Bryce, I was like, this was not one of my favorite episodes.
I love it. You're amazing. Craig, come back and talk to us. We'd be happy to talk to you again. Bryce, make that happen.
Yes, see you in New Jersey. Good luck. Bye.
The hotline. Let's go to our hotline. Video patron privilege. Here's Joel.
Hey guys, Joel here, aka my pups, Lex, Shelby, and Kara, and patron. This is Lex from Newfoundland, Canada. My question is for Season 5, Episode 10, Fanatic, when Lex finally says the phrase, apparently I could use better security. Just wondering if any of you guys picked up on that after several seasons of pretty much anyone waltzing right into the Luthor mansion and no one stopping them.
I love it.
Thanks, guys. Love the podcast.
You're awesome, man. Yeah, we talked about that. We love that it's so, I'm glad he finally said it because it's something everyone else has been thinking. And here's Michael. Hi, Michael. It's Michael again.
Hey, Talkville. It's Michael P. from Texas. This question's for the episode Fanatic. In a real-life election between Lex and Jonathan, who are you voting for?
I vote for Martha.
I was going to say Martha, too.
Yeah, we'll choose Martha on that one. All right, Caroline. Here's a question for Caroline.
Hi, Michael, Tom, and Ryan. This is Carolyn from Springfield, Missouri. I am not buying this one. Nobody would go that far to show dedication to a government person running for office. There's no way. I just thought it was a little too much. Thanks. Bye.
Well, it happened in real life, so there we go. Ed, but thank you, Caroline.
But he wasn't look, he wasn't whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't get into that, but, well, there's some crazy people out there.
Kind of a question and comment from Ed in Ohio about Season 5, Episode 10, Fanatic. Do you think this episode could be aired now, especially in the climate of what has happened in recent weeks in political stance, as it were? This is very timely, and rewatching it has really made me realize a few things. I'm curious your thoughts. Thanks.
I think that it would air. I think, there's a lot more risk taking, and people like to create parables of what's going on in real life, the horrors of it all. And people do that all the time with so many things. They just, anything to make a dollar, they'll latch onto.
I think this one's neutral enough, and there's no nobody really has a political position on either side. They're just
a crazy fan.
I mean, even like the candidates, there's no real political stance. This is just part of what the story is now.
I mean, I think what I think the question is, do you think the studio would hold it off? And I'm trying to think. I know there has been a few times where episodes of shows have not been aired because something in the real world happened, within a certain amount of time. So you actually don't know. And especially today, there's probably a better chance they would not air it if it was within a very short timeline of obviously what we're talking about.
In America, because it always comes down to
nobody wants to offend anyone.
You're right.
Except
but
Michael.
These things, it comes down to whether or not there was a mass shooting recently, and they will pull things.
Yeah.
All
right, here's Scott.
Hey guys, it's Scott from Sydney, Australia. Just interested to know, appreciating the fact that Michael shaved his head for many years, how easy it is to actually get an actor or an actress to shave their head on screen. I just watched the episode and I sort of thought, that's a big ask for an actress, or, well, in this case. Anyway,
thanks Scott.
So
it is a big ask. And like we were talking about, I wonder if she got paid double. I mean, it's if she's an actor, it's hard to get jobs if you're bald now for X amount of months. So you're losing a lot so it's a risk. And I'm surprised they got someone that would do that. So good on her for doing that.
I think hey, Bryce, maybe can you make a note the next time we actually talk to Al? We ask him if actors get paid more to shave their heads, because you're actually taking possible work away from them for up to a year. Al would.
Yeah. Pam?
This is Pam Wade from Richland, North Carolina. I find it really interesting that Lex finally decides that he needs better security when the Fanatic got in there. And I know it's been discussed several times in the podcast about why Lex went bad. And I have a theory. I think rather than the fact that Clark lied to him all the time, it was all the concussions that he got after blow to his head. Just a theory.
You're hilarious, Pam. I bet you're spot on. That's the best theory I've heard at all. So,
and maybe Lana falling in love with Lex is also a result of multiple concussions.
Yeah, Lana has concussions. That's why she goes out with Lex. Hey, wait a minute.
And Clark is just lying to both of them all the time.
Yeah. Here's
sense.
Scott.
Hey guys, Scott from Mississippi. First off, Lex, that was a real blush whenever the bald lady took her coat off. I don't know if she was wearing pasties or something, but it was funny watching your face because you looked like you'd really just seen a naked person. It almost seemed more like Michael saw a naked lady than Lex did, but that's not what I'm calling. I'm calling because at the end, don't bullets travel faster than the speed of sound? So how would Clark have heard that in time to save his dad?
He probably, I don't know. Let's just say he turned and saw the bullet, and that's when I don't know. It's a good question, Scott, but
maybe he heard the trigger. He didn't hear the bullet.
Yeah, something. He's always keeping an eye on his dad, so maybe some person's reaction. I don't know. Good question, but we're not scientists. Amy.
Hello, this is Amy from West Virginia. In episode 10, Fanatic, I think besides the crazy girl, there was, at the end, some very good furthering of the storyline. I was wondering, though, what are Lionel's intentions. He seems to be for the Kents, but then he's giving the son advice. So what are his...
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know, and it's ambiguous, and it's sort of, you know, he's sort of stoic, and you don't really know what's going on, but we're gonna find out because I don't know.
Maybe he does want
Lex.
He wants Lex to be the center because that's just more power for the family, and if he gives hush money to the Kent campaign, that they're going to find that out, and then Jonathan's going to... Maybe that's the dirt. The dirt is the dirt that was about to happen. The dirt is the money he was about to give the campaign.
Maybe. That's interesting. Good, Ryan. Good thoughts, Ryan. Thinker. Put that Santa cap back on.
Hey, guys. This is Stewie from Australia. My question's for Michael. Michael, when you read the scene between you and basically your clone, did you speak to the writers at all and say, you know, this doesn't make sense. Why would I be attracted to someone that looks exactly like me? What are we doing? Yeah, let me know what you think. All right, cheers, guys.
I don't know, Stewie. The whole thing creeped me out. Every bit of it. I didn't ask the writers. I just kind of showed up to set and did it and just kind of just played the scene how I thought I'd play it. And, but yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I played it like it was weird. Cat Daddy.
Hey, this is Cat Daddy from Durham, North Carolina. So I really like the scene between Lana and Clark in this episode where Lana lovingly confronts Clark, and she's very direct and doesn't fall for Clark's bullshit. I hope I'm allowed to say that. But anyways, I really like that scene, but it really also draws attention to the fact that we still don't know what Clark's excuse was for coming back from the dead. Like, what did he tell her? And so I'm curious if y'all have any guesses as to what he might have told her, or if you or Clark, what your excuse would have been. Thanks so much. I love Talkville, and I look forward to it. Bye.
Thanks. Any idea, Tom?
I have no idea. I mean, I think like a lot of characters in Smallville, you just kind of go, you know, let's just keep it moving.
I guess. John, this is John. I bet this is going to be a riveting question, John. I could feel it.
Hey, Michael, Tom, and Ryan. This is John calling from Santa Clara, California. There is an actor who was the campaign manager for Jonathan Kent that Jonathan fires. That actor was also the meter maid that Lex took a 9-iron to and smashed his car in season 1. Just wondering if you noticed that.
I didn't notice it till I read the Cliff Notes, so good on Bryce, my producer, and good on you for recognizing that because I didn't. Here's a text, Bria from France. Tom, do you ever remember feeling tired, frustrated from Clark's lying insistence to not tell Lana his truth?
There were other reasons to feel that way on many occasions, most days. But I think in the scene, it was always kind of fun because it was a new challenge. How am I going to get away with this again? And Kristen was such a good partner to not be like, you know what, man? That's it. I'm not saying these lines because this is bullshit or whatever. It was always the challenge of the scene is, can you navigate this in a way that allows the Clark to not get pinned against the wall?
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, it was more exciting.
Rosenbaum rating system. And now we're going to start with Tom on this. Rosenbaum rating.
I got to tell you, when I watched it last night, I found myself really liking it. But I mean, I think overall it's a 1. Yeah.
I called it. I knew you'd say 1. Brian?
I'm going to give it a half just
because you're creeped
out.
Just
because I was creeped out. And I think also just coming off of the sheer joy of Lexmas, and Lexmas was a Christmas special. And now this one is like, all right, now we're back. We got to fill some more episodes.
Yeah.
We get to sweeps.
Fodder.
I bet back in the day, this was the episode that brought us back from some sort of Christmas hiatus or holiday hiatus of the airings. So it was probably a good 3-4 weeks since Lexmas.
Yeah, January episodes are always a little tough.
This one for me is, there was some good Lex Lionel stuff. There was some good Lana Clark stuff. The Ace story was kind of just like goofy, but I'm going to give it a half a rose. Would you give it?
I gave it a half.
Yeah, half a rose. It was a little better than okay.
Yeah.
Death and save count. 3 dead, 2 student campaign workers, and Griff died. 1 saved. Clark saved Jonathan through 10 episodes. 23 dead, 20 saved. Series 159 dead, 167 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
It was a little tougher. But here we go. All right. Scene 1, head shave. Scene 2, Clark stops the bullet. And scene 3, Lana Clark in the telescope.
Those are tough. That's tough.
Bullet. Number 2. Bullet.
It's probably the bullet because I'm gonna go bullet.
It's bullet.
It's bullet.
This is one of those episodes where it's tough to find 2 other ones.
Yeah.
I was like, that's just.
Yeah. All right, that's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we shelter in place and talk about season 5, episode 11, Lockdown. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. Show your support, please, for the podcast by joining patreon.com/Talkville. Become a patron and support the show. Give back whatever you can, and we'll try to keep doing this for you. And if you want more info like merch from the show or our hotline number, you can find all that in the description. And thanks for being here. Remember, folks,
always hold on to Smallville.
And, of course, it's time for a top-tier read-off, I guess you can call it. Well, we read off the top tiers because without you guys, we couldn't do this show. So Tom and I are here to read out the top-tier patrons, patreon.com/Talkville. Get your name shouted out. And here we go. No particular order, but we love you all madly. Leanne P., Raj C., Santiago M., Thomas Tom Turner, Shane W., Sophie M., Betsy D., Abby P., Ray Harada, Karen Apple M., 99 More, Lalani, Brett G. Always hold on to Smallville.
Estevan G., Charlie T., Garrett W., Bob K., Tom and Jason W., Osama A. Just saw him recently. Met his son. That was great. Glenda the Good Witch, Lana rhymes with Banana W., Nancy D., Brian G.,
YVR Grips, Amanda R., Teddy127, Michael P., Ryan R., Jordan M., Randy B., Craig G., Jorel, Heather, and Greg. I may Talkville say butts, Brian H., Eric K., Kristen B., Darth Achilles.
Finky, early is on time. Miss Clark Kent, damn, who's that? And what was the other one that she just said? What the hell? Damn, who's that?
Holy crap. Holy crap.
Holy crap. That's our new top tier patron.
Holy crap.
Deadvid, General Zod, Theodore, Nathan B., Jammin J.,
Doug R., Carlos C., Tommy Z. Boston 68, Ken the Limerick Guy, Corey L., Mr. Homar K., Jesse C., Claire M. D. Brown, Karen Era M., Jules M., Eldon Supremo,
Leslie V., Brian P., Mick Burtz, Ginger Moose, please remember Janice from North Carolina,
Hi, Janice.
Christoph S., Michelle M., Amanda Lynn, Jessica B., and Sebastian F.
Wolfie. Hi, Wolfie. Deck Flando, Matthew and Lincoln B., Breyer, Charlene A., Marion Louise L., C. Geo, Cindy C., Nikki L., and Shannon Fofanin.
Tina E., Matt Rick, Jen T., Randy S., Cassie B., Brad A., Felicia R., Danny, Mo Mirabel, J.S., Mary K., Rachel D., and Steve and Steve and Nate Danger.
Nature. When you're rich, you aren't crazy, you're eccentric. Rosenbaum fan, Sammy Sharman. Carrie Ann, the Alexander Castle, Daryl E., Jenny B76, Anna B., Monica T., Jeffrey K., Pip Kenobi, Katja C., previously on Smallville.
Keith B., Cookie K., I like that. Justin, patron saint of Smallville, Libertariat, great horse. Danny Z. from Cleveland, or CLE, as we all know. Biagio C., Kal-El 38, Felicia B., Lady J, and the Salty Ham.
Murphy C., David L., Madison H., Mika, Micah J., Tori H., Kelowna A., Zebar, Z. Wicked Stepdad, My Pups Like Shelby Kara, Natalia, Dr. Jace E.
Dr. G, lots of doctors around, and Dr. T. Chloe could have used you in the last episode. Krypton Knight, Brandon
Is Dr.
C.
T Dr. Turtleneck?
Oh.
As an inside. Go ahead.
Brandon C. Just blew my mind. Ned L. Flirtatious B.
Pre-6, Kurgan K. Hunter, Naman L. Gorgeous TV, Smallville for Life, Bobby B. Bryce R. Reese S. Kara C. Pico Delgado, Kyle W. J. Burke, Kendrick F. Happy birthday, Lindsay B. And Cece Storm. We love you guys. Couldn't do the show without you, and you're just awesome. It's a privilege. It's an honor to read out your names. Tommy, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, buddy.